am I supposed to begin after a chapter like that, eh? Like, seriously, where am I supposed to start after having a chapter like that dropped on me? I can try my hardest, I suppose, but, yo, what's going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Harrison Senpai, and, wow. I mean, it's been a long time since I actually reviewed a chapter of Boruto. I don't think I've done it since the beginning of the Boro fight, maybe even before then. But after a chapter like that, can you blame me for wanting to come back and doing this? Oh, it was... Oh, I could just end it there, really, couldn't I? I could just end it there. But let's try and see if we can make some sense out of this chapter. But before we jump into all that, as you guys should hopefully know by now, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed that chapter. I mean, I want to be seeing like potential record-breaking amounts of likes that we've hit on a Boruto video. I don't know what the record is, but let's set one. Also, answer today's question of the day is, what are we calling that new Boruto form then, eh? I've seen loads of different names chucked out. I've seen Momoshiki, Otsutski, Momoruto. What are we going? What are we calling that new transformation? Leave your names in the comment section down below, and hopefully one of them will stick. Anyway, let's try and make some sense out of this chapter, like I said. So we'll start with the beginning. That makes sense. That's usually the structure I would like to follow. The cover photo, Ikimoto. I'm sorry. Do you know like what chapter you're making? Do you just have like a set? Do you pick a character at random? Why was Sarada on the front cover? Somebody explain to me why Sarada was on the front cover of this chapter and not last chapter. You know, the chapter where she actually used the Chidori, her biggest chapter yet. And I believe I want to say Boruto is on the cover of that one. Not this chapter cover though. Boruto wasn't on this one. No. It was Sarada, the person whose main feat from this chapter was getting knocked out. Ikimoto. I don't understand his logic sometimes. I really don't. If anyone should have been on this chapter cover, it should have been Momoshiki. That makes sense. But anyway, on to the actual content of the chapter. It starts off exactly where the last one ended up, with Sarada destroying Boro's core. But essentially what happens, we've found out now, when you destroy the core of a Kara member, is they go mental. They just like spontaneously combust and turn into some sort of demonic worm-like creature. It's pretty nuts what happens, okay? Their body essentially breaks down. The scientific ninja tool just, it goes crazy in their body. Physically, they just can't take it. And I mean, we all saw Boro. He was starting to grow appendages which a normal human just shouldn't have. Let's be honest. No healthy human looks quite like he did, but essentially left them with a little opening to catch their breath and get a little plan of what they're going to do together. Also, Boro's new form, can we call it a form? Usually when you call someone, oh, he's gone into a new form, you think, oh, that's really cool. Like, for example, Boruto's new form in this chapter, you think, that's cool, that makes you more powerful. In Boro's case, it's not a flattering new form, is it? Let's be honest. But regardless, his new form, it reminded me a little bit of when Madara sort of turned into Kaguya. That's still weird to me, but it reminded me a bit of that. I don't think there's any real connection between the two. I mean, there's definitely isn't, but it did remind me a little bit like that visually. Anyway, regardless of all that, Naruto has now officially been saved, everyone. Round of applause, hooray for Naruto. However, he is still unconscious after his fight against Ishiki, and this is where Boro starts to gain a little bit of control over his newfound body parts. He basically gets control over his new body and just squashes Mitsuki flat like a pancake. He grabs Sarada. He's throwing Kawaki off into the distance. He's going on an absolute rampage with anger and just pure hatred over these set of children, because I think essentially, I'm guessing with the scientific ninja tool gone like that, Boro was going to die. I'd imagine his body would have just kept on going and going, so I suppose he was just trying to do as much damage as he physically could before he eventually passed away. But this is where stuff just goes mental. This is like, I'm talking, even now talking about it, genuine goosebumps, right? Unbelievable moment. Momoshiki takes control and possesses Boruto's body. And thus we see a brand new form for Boruto. He's got one horn. His karma seals have, the markings have changed ever so slightly, especially around the face. And most importantly, we've got our first look at the Jougan in the manga for, what, nearly 4 years? Now, I've actually seen a few people say that it's not the Jougan, and I'm sorry, but I don't know how people can lie to themselves like that. It's the Jougan. I've seen people say, no, it's Momoshiki's Byakugan, and no, it isn't. Listen, the Jougan in the manga, for whatever reason, unfortunately, it looks different than in the anime. In the anime, it's got the black sclera around the eyeball. It looks awesome. The pure blue, like baby blue look in the eye. It looks great. I love the look of the Jougan in the anime. For whatever reason, the manga, it looks different, okay? You can see in the very first chapter, there's no black around the eyeball. It's a white, I presume it's white anyway. We've not had an actual official colouring of it in the manga. But it's white around the eyeball, and then a white, or I presume white. Well, I presume it's probably actually blue, like in the anime, as an actual eyeball, okay? That's just how it looks in the anime. In the manga, I wish they had changed it in this chapter. I don't think it would have been any harm done in changing it, but instead they faithfully stuck to what it originally looked like 4 years ago in the manga before this new design was created for the anime. Unfortunately, that's the case, but it's still the Jougan, okay? And the biggest giveaway, the absolute 100% proof that this is not the Byakugan or Momoshiki's Byakugan is, one, where's that come from? It's like, you saw that, and you think there's more chance of it being Momoshiki randomly manifesting a Byakugan in Boruto's body rather than it being the Jougan, which we already know he's got. You think that makes more sense. And also, there's no veins around the eyes. There's no veins. That ends it. That debunks it. You're finished. There's no coming back from that, okay? It's the Jougan, full stop. If you think it's a Byakugan, then I'm sorry, you're an idiot. But yeah, hopefully next chapter we can maybe get an official colouring of Boruto in this new form with the actual colouring of the Jougan, and see if they still then stick with the anime design, or the manga design, or switch it up then to the anime design. That'll be really interesting. However, I don't know. It could be Chocho on the front cover. No one knows. No one knows. It just depends. Ikemoto shake his little hat and just pick out a character. Shall we have a Kankuro on this cover, shall we? But anyway, Momoshiki, Boroshiki, Boruto, whatever you want to call him, okay? He goes into fight against Boro, and it's bullying. It's abuse. It's bullying. Boro doesn't stand a chance. He amputates both of his arms with punches and kicks. He's flying around the dimension like he owns the place. It was rude. It was rude what Momoshiki, Boroshiki, whatever he's called, what he was doing, okay? And that was without any chakra as well, because he tries to use the Rasengan and he's got no chakra, because obviously we already know Boruto had very, very low chakra when he took over anyway. So what does he do? Confirms that with the Karma Seal. You just go up to someone, take their chakra directly out of their body, a lot like how Momoshiki actually did in the Momoshiki arc when he was trying to absorb the Nine Tails from Naruto. He just does that again, goes up to Naruto, goes, "Oh, if you don't mind using this, I'll take that," and then just a giant Rasengan blop. He reduces Boro to nothing but dust. I mean, there's nothing left behind. It was brutal. Just a crater in the ground. Not a sign of life left behind from Boro's body. He was just disintegrated, like he never existed. He was nothing more than just a little speck of dust blown away in the wind in a massive crater. It was just rude. But what I found really interesting is the fact that, yes, Momoshiki, or Boruto, it's so weird, we need a name. Boroshiki, we'll go with Boroshiki, that rolls off the tongue quite well. He absorbs Naruto's chakra. Question is, did he absorb Naruto's chakra, or is there a little hint of Nine Tails in there? I don't know. Are we going to get a Ginkaku and Kinkaku situation with Boruto? Is Boruto going to go like half Karma, half Nine Tails? Oh, I want it to happen so bad, but at the same time, I really, really don't. I don't want anything like that happening, but at the same time, part of me is like, yeah, but think of the fan art. In fact, is any artist watching? It needs to be done. Come on. Half Karma with the horn, half orange. Oh, I know someone out there will do it. I know someone will. Send it me on Twitter. I need to see something that good. I want that to be as close as I get to it. I don't want it actually happening in the manga, but at the same time I do. I don't know. And basically we get more talk about Boruto's prophecy, which obviously we've not heard of since the end of the Momoshiki arc quite a few years ago now, but Momoshiki bringing it back to life saying, no, now's not the time for you to lose it all. So that's really great to see. That's still a very prevalent and main focus on the plot, because sometimes plot points can happen in manga and then years pass and it's sort of like, oh yeah, I sort of forgot about that. The traitor, for example, in My Academia. But it's nice to see that still a very main focus of the story, and probably the main focus of the story. Really, really interesting to see what Momoshiki actually means by saying that. And I think this is now, with Boruto's character, you can definitively say that now this is the beginning of the end for Boruto. This is where Boruto's character, it's been all great, all good up until now, okay? From the outside looking in anyway. But now's that turning point. Now it's all downhill from here for Boruto. I'm fairly certain of that. One of the most interesting things as well, although it was only a page or two, is we actually switched them back to the Kara headquarters. Now it's hard to tell, okay? It's hard to tell over the little panel, but is it located in the sand or somewhere outside the sand village? Because, I don't know, to me, it looked like we crossed some sand dunes in a desert. That's what it looked like to me anyway. It could have been rocks, could have been mountains, could have been a field, it could have been sand. I don't know what it is. It's hard to tell, okay? But to me, that looked like a desert. So our Kara are located somewhere around the sand village. That would be really interesting. Anyway, it's not really that important, just a little thing which I noticed while I was reading it. But going into the headquarters of Kara, we see Kashin Koji and Amado engaging in conversation, and this is where this was really good. Now, apparently a lot of people were theorizing that Amado was going to be a good guy. I say that in quotation marks, you know, because Kashin Koji, we presume, is a good guy. You know, he could just be on his own terms. He could be nor good nor evil. But he seems to be working with Amado somewhat, which is really, really cool to see. I can't wait to see how that plot progresses as it goes on. But basically, Kashin Koji is going in to take advantage of a weak Jigen to fight him, to try and take him down. Now, we don't know that Jigen hasn't even recovered 10% of his power yet. So I think Kashin Koji is the favourite going into this, okay? I think Kashin Koji's favourite. And now, theory time, okay? Kashin Koji will engage in a fight against Jigen, a Jigen who is less than 10% ready to fight. I think Kashin Koji, full power, can do it. I think he can do it. Like I said, I think he's favourite. I think he will do it. I think, as wild and crazy as this sounds, got to remember, Jigen's not the main villain here. It's Ishiki. I think Jigen will be defeated. I think Kashin Koji will defeat him, kill him, whatever it is. But essentially, the end line is that Kashin Koji will force Ishiki to change vessel. And I think he will have to prematurely, and I don't know how, don't ask me the details, how he's going to transform from one body to another just like that, okay? I don't know, to be honest. But I think essentially what's going to happen is that Ishiki will be prematurely forced into possessing Kawaki and making Kawaki his vessel, because we know that's the end goal. That's why he's raised Kawaki to be like it is. I theorized a couple of years ago, I think, that I think Jigen is ill and with a deadly disease, a little bit like Itachi, and that's why he's got this vessel of Kawaki, so that he can change his body before the current body dies. And I still think that's the case. I think Jigen is against the clock. I think he'll die at some point, but I think Kashin Koji will force him to die sooner than expected by beating him, which will force Ishiki to transform into a quite not so ready Kawaki. And I think that's going to be where Kawaki's character also changes. I think that's where the evil Kawaki is going to come from, because Ishiki, it's going to be Ishiki as opposed to Kawaki. Now, whether or not that switch happens instantaneously, like I said, Kawaki is clearly not quite ready to be the vessel, I don't think, just yet. He's close, I think. So I think Ishiki will have quite a lot of freedom. But maybe they'll switch between Kawaki and Ishiki. Kawaki obviously being the good guy, and then when Ishiki takes over, that's when the evil Kawaki or whatever comes in. Or the switch over will happen instantaneously. Kawaki will run away, go back to Kara, and then that's where the time skip happens and the Kawaki retrieval arc, or whatever it's called, will then begin. But with the fight against Jigen, I do think Kashin Koji's big reveal, you know, his identity, which we've all wanted to know now for years now, I think that's right around the corner. Unfortunately, right around the corner in Boruto's terms, with this monthly in release, could be 6 to 12 months away. Okay, we don't know, unfortunately. But let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. What do you think about that theory of mine? So I want to know if I'm an idiot, or if you think there's a little bit of legs there to run away with. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. Like I said, fingers crossed, Boruto reviews every month coming back. I don't know why I stopped them. I really don't know why I stopped them, but this chapter definitely brought back my interest. I'll be seeing you guys in another video very, very soon, but until then, as always, peace.